Hello, hello. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome. Good to see everybody here this week. And I hope that you've been having a good week so far. It's so many little things happening and all kinds of different things that I've been working on. I hope that you all have been having a fulfilled couple of weeks here. I know everybody's been working on different things, but thank you so much for joining us. And the panel is going to be coming soon. But I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with us to talk about some of the latest news and developments. So we'll get started in a minute. And I have today Mr. Alan T is going to be on our panel, and Angry Penguin is coming pretty soon. And we'll have Taylor and Linus and Sama. I don't think is going to be able to make it, but I hope. Oh, yeah, I said Taylor. I'm not sure. Now I'm rambling, but welcome, welcome. Everybody's rolling in. Um, Allie, hopefully you'll be able to start us off. Maybe we're going to talk about some of the things that are going on with Midjourney, but also DALL-E, the DALL-E 3 image editor. That seems like it's I haven't had a chance to use it much, but I think you have, right?
Yes, I apparently stumbled upon it before they officially announced it 2 days later. So, and I first thought it was an April Fool's joke because I saw it that day on April Fool's, but then I realized that it actually worked. So I'm like, oh, well, I guess they just haven't announced it yet. And then they did. So, but I happened to be working on something on Dolly on ChatGPT anyway. So, basically what this feature is a new in painting type feature, or as I would call it, in painting, if you reference it to other tools that we have. So fairly easy, simple to use. I have a post about it. If I know how to pin it or put it over here, I do it, but I'll do it later perhaps. But not complicated. What I did find out that for me, not everything worked great. So it was a bit of a hit or miss. Some things worked really well, and then some things seemed to take a wrong turn. For example, when I just asked for stars in the sky and I only basically highlighted or painted over the sky, it actually changed the whole image. But with a few iteration, I was able to get what I was looking for most of the time. But I mean, again, my feeling on these is that there's always going to be some interesting things that happens with these AI tools that we use. So that just comes with the territory. So I think it's an interesting addition. Perhaps it's been requested or they just decided to, release that now. And now this makes me think that maybe there's some other things coming along as well, since they released this one. And it is specifically for ChatGPT 4. So if you use Dolly through there, that's when you can use it.
Now, do you know, there's a limit, right, for how many images we can generate in with Dolly and ChatGPT? Is there a daily limit?
I don't actually, I haven't run into it. I run into the regular 3 hours, too many things that I've done. And I thought that, I mean, at least this is my understanding, is that that just counts towards that. So I don't know if there was actually another limit, but I have not ran into it with generating with Dolly.
I was reading somebody's post earlier this week, and I think they said that it got to 40 requests, maybe. So I was thinking that was for the images, but maybe that's overall. I'm not sure how many requests you can get if you keep reiterating. I guess I wonder if each image generation or each update of in painting goes towards whatever, if there is a limit.
Right. I think it would go towards the limit because it is another run, right? So it will have to generate it again. So I'll actually have to test that. But yeah, my understanding was that it's just part of the whatever whether you just ask a question or whether you do the image or anything else, it just counts towards the 3 hour limit.
When I tried it, I used like a photorealistic image of an office, and I was trying to add some like decoration accessories to the office, and it like changed the desk for me, but then it wouldn't put like a painting on the wall or like a floor, like a tree, a plant to put on there. I tried it a few times, but I kind of gave up. So I was wondering if you've had success. Have you had success with photorealistic things, or is it more
I
like,
also tried a photo. Well, the one that I have in that image is just a photo and it had a text block, and I was able to remove that with just one try. But then I had another image that just had a plain background, and I tried to add a green plant behind it, and it just added a tiny piece of a leaf in there. And
okay?
then when I tried to add a window, it also did not want to add it. And that's what I was referencing to, kind of the hit or miss type of situation that was going on. So sometimes it worked. And yes, it also did end up changing some of the, you know, otherwise, or rearranging what was actually in the original image.
Well, it's cool though, because you get to keep each image, right? It generates it and then it's there for you, so that
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
if you want to use those later on, you can, and it gives you it rewrites the prompt as is, I think. So
Yes, I saw that it basically says, okay, I'll now add whatever, you know, it just does it. So, and then you could literally go back to that one and then adjust that one as well. But
okay.
what happened to me, or at least again, this is just very limited testing at this point, is if I tried to regenerate over and over the one that I had already tried, it got worse, in my opinion.
Oh, well, that's good to know. I'm sure
Yeah.
for people who haven't tried it yet. Alan, have you tried it?
No, I haven't. I was going to ask Ali, do you, do you prefer the Chat GPT in painting or still Midjourney?
I do not like the ChatGPT mid. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I like the brush type of painting over. That's very similar to, like, for example, for runways. So if you use runway, then it's very easy to use that as well. Midjourney is a little bit more precision, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, you can change the tooltip on the ChatGPT. So from user experience standpoint, I like the ease of use of it. And to be honest, I hardly use in painting in Midjourney right now. So I've never really, I don't know, I just didn't feel like, yeah, shockingly, I never felt the need to do a lot of in painting in my Midjourney images.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't really use it much either. Do you use it in Midjourney much, Alan?
I do. Typically, what I'll do is I'll in paint a Midjourney, just to hold the aesthetic, and then when I want to do a final cleanup, I'll bring it into Photoshop, and I do a lot of Photoshop work on really anything I'm submitting for like a product or posting, typically on Instagram. Um, Ali, does it compare to Adobe's Photoshop at all, or still not as good?
Not as good. Yeah. I still like Photoshop better. And I do definitely do that part. So I may not do in painting in Midjourney. I run, I don't know if you run a lot of your or rerun a lot of images. I do a lot of reruns. That's kind of my go-to to begin with. And then I do, if I need to get it to a better cleanup mode, I'll take it to Photoshop.
Awesome. One trick I learned this week, actually, since we're talking about in painting. Um, so there was a character consistency challenge on Hive 3. I don't know if anyone's on there. And the person who won, what they were doing is they were using the multiple person prompt, and then they were just in painting around the character. And their character consistency was probably the best I've ever seen. So just a tip if anyone has to do some character stuff. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
What could you explain that? How the multi-person, like where you have more than one face in it?
Yep.
Um,
So at the end of your prompt, you add multi 3 panel, 5 panel, multi panel, however you want to put it, character looking in different directions with different expressions. And then when you get that generation, you can zoom out. Then you get even more. So you get the expression that you want eventually, and then you take that, you in paint around the one character in Midjourney. And then if you have any touch up, you just bring it to Photoshop. But the details, the consistency on the character is probably better than anything else.
oh, that's cool. That's not what I thought you meant, huh? Oh, that's interesting. Thank you for the tip. Well, welcome Taylor and AP. Thank you for joining us today. And
Hey
good to see
guys.
you. Hey. Oh,
I've got a little one.
hello.
Sorry
Oh,
about
that's
that.
okay. Well, that's okay. He's invited. Well, we were talking about Dolly, the image editing, and Taylor, I don't know if you had a chance to use it yet. If he'll let you speak. It's okay.
I know. Can I come back to it though? Because
Yeah, yeah.
he will in a few.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. And let me think. We were talking about Dolly, so it's for ChatGPT Plus users only right now, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll improve over some time, but you can't. I guess it's only for it's images generated within there. You can't upload an image and have it edit that. That would be cool. Well, I don't know because it might throw
Yeah,
like the
but
Dolly
it
look.
is true. Yeah, you can only use the ones that you generate there.
Okay, so that's good to know for people. Hopefully, that's helpful. Um, And for Midjourney, what is going on? There's adding like a the community or personal, so you can make a space.
Yes. So, well, we'll see what that actually looks like. But so there's only few more polishing things that they are now adding to the website before they will start releasing it to the full public. Meaning, if you don't have any Midjourney experience and are not on Discord and are waiting for the website to be opened up for everybody, it is coming perhaps in a couple of weeks or so once they roll these last final things out. I if I understood it correctly, they will start it by not just opening the doors for everybody because they need to see how the whole website and the whole system holds. So it will be kind of like a waitlist type of release potentially first, just to make sure everything is going good. And so one of the things they are adding is this what David referred to as spaces or social spaces, not to be confused with these spaces here, but that is a place within Midjourney, so basically through the website where you can then collaborate with other people. So, for example, all of us here could be, or decide to put together, it doesn't have to be anything permanent, at least that's not what I understood. A space, it can be public space or private space, and you can then, either invite people or just have it for a few people or however you want to do it, whether you work, for example, you work for a team, so that could be a great place where everybody can, roll with the same space and generate the images. It could be for a challenge, or it could be for example, if you're teaching about Midjourney, you could bring your students in there or things like that. So I think it seems like it's an exciting thing. Um, and who knows where that goes from there. So that is coming. They are working on it. Whether it's released next week, we shall see. But that's one of the bigger things that they are working on. And then the other thing is the personalization, which I think will be very interesting because that means that every single one of us can create different images from each other. And it's not the default model that Midjourney uses.
Well, that'll be cool. And I think another thing, I don't know if people realize how they have the news, the updates on the website now, and anybody can access that, right? Instead of going to the Discord announcements channel, you can see the latest updates and what's going to be happening on the website. And then also there's the page for feedback, right? I think you can like put suggestions or just give feedback right on the website. And I think that's pretty helpful.
Yes, and any kind of status updates, news announcements, if there's bugs going on, whatever. So it's same what we have in Discord, but we just don't need to rely on going to Discord and trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah, and the feedback form is, well, they're still, again, improving it, but it's great. And Midjourney is really looking at what people want, and then they try to work from the top down to see what are the most requested things.
That's cool. No, it's still what just I'll get off of Midjourney after this, but just to make sure it's still 1,000. You have to have 1,000 generations in order to generate on the on the website.
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Alan. Please feel free.
Ali, that the spaces for Midjourney sounds really interesting. Did they say anything about would it be available to all subscriptions, or would it be a different fee? And the reason I ask, to kind of follow that up, is if there are private spaces, then I can probably lower my plan where I don't have to pay for the hidden generations anymore, and that would be amazing. Thoughts?
Yes, I'm with you there. I am literally paying for the higher tier to be able to generate in stealth. Now, I don't know if that is something that is going to be only available for a certain plan like the Stealth or Pro or whatever. I don't remember or recall that was addressed at the time. Or if that, yeah, because, yeah, that is kind of interesting. Because so what happens if you're in a private space, you wouldn't want to have those be available for anybody else. Then it's just for your eyes only, right? And you don't suddenly want to have your images pop up on the explore page or somewhere. So maybe that's going to be only available for the private or the pro or mega plans or something. I don't know. Good question.
All right, yeah. So everyone in this space, do not tell anyone about. We just figured out that workaround, so I can lower my subscription monthly fee. Thank you, I appreciate it.
We heard nothing.
What happens here stays here, except for on the recording. But um, well, that's super cool. So there's okay that for the image generation for the moment. Is there something I'm missing? AP stable is something stable diffusion 2. No, that's
It's been kind of quiet on that front, like with Stable Diffusion stuff, with
okay.
like EMAD leaving and all that. Yeah, I mean, I think SD3 was supposed to come out pretty soon here, but like, with everything going on, it got delayed. And I think it's like not for another 6 weeks. So like, yeah, honestly, it's been kind of quiet on the like open source front, to be completely honest. But yeah, I know Krea has like a new thing that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like a live multi generation that goes on. Oh, Alan, did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I was going to ask AP if he knew if he had read the tea leaves anywhere, if Stable Diffusion 3 was going to be open sourced or not.
Um, I don't know, to be honest. I think that probably not. Just like the situation that it is in, right? Where like they're kind of pressed for cash. So like I wouldn't expect it to be like open source. Um, there's this like new one that's coming out in a few days called Pixar Sigma. It's supposed to be like native 4K, but like yeah, I think the reality of it is that like SD3 is going to be great. Probably won't be open source. It might be open weights, like meaning you can like run inference on it like locally, but it won't be like commercially available without paying some type of license or like using their API. Um, but again, that's just like me reading the tea leaves and like what I predict to happen. But I mean, like, yeah, there's still a lot of hacking being done on like SD 1.5 and SDXL. So like that Krea thing that came out, I'm like almost 100% certain that's like SDXL with like a fine tune and then using like IP adapters. So like I mean, there's still a bunch of like awesome stuff you can do with like open source, right? So that's the exciting thing, like trying to figure out the cool stuff to do with the open source 1.5 and SDXL. That's my take.
Yeah, thank you. And that's been my concern with the mod stepping down, is that Stable is no longer open source, which was kind of what made it amazing to begin with. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's still a lot of hacking going on the older stuff.
Well, go ahead, Taylor.
Just wanted to pipe in, and I don't know if anyone has mentioned this yet today, but I'm collecting information, if you will, on Adobe's new Gen Studio. So I'm curious if anyone has any information on that, and would be willing to share. If not, I can give like a quick overview. I covered it actually on Monday in the sauce. And basically, from what I understand, I think The Verge called it Adobe's new all-in-one AI content factory. And I think that it's really a tool that integrates across, all of Adobe's existing creative tools, including Adobe Experience Manager. If I'm not all the Adobe Experience Cloud apps, which is really something probably more geared for like, corporate marketing teams or enterprise level, but because it's super expensive, but I think it's still a pretty like big deal for people who work in the creative space at that level. So does anyone have any insights on this?
I don't, but do you know, has it already been rolled out, and is it a premium on top of the Adobe subscription that we already have, or?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's just it would be integrated. So it's saying that it's this like new platform that basically brings in all of its generative AI tools directly into like one suite, so one dashboard. The whole idea behind it is that you have like more content automation so that you can, and more, you know, streamlined workflow so that you can actually focus on like the creative. I do think that it is probably more geared towards like Adobe's broader move to help support, you know, like enterprise in level investment. And so I know some like marketing teams that are already kind of integrated with Adobe Cloud, but also Adobe Experience Cloud, which is like the APIs, the publishing, the analytics, and everything that it pulls in. So if I had to guess, Ellen, I would say it's probably expensive as hell, but definitely something to think about if you are working with a business that's already integrated with some of those tools.
I just took a quick look and it does not look like it's available yet. It says coming soon. And I think you are exactly correct, Taylor. It looks like marketers, teams, just streamlining workflows so that you can kind of do everything in one place. They have a video that shows kind of the Adobe Firefly as part of this mix. And then they just kind of basically, you can throw into Adobe Express. So kind of bundling it all under one house is what it seems like to me.
Yeah, that's sort of the takeaway that I have too. And it's really interesting to see, like, I think just from the industry perspective, as well as some of the like enterprise level and even mid-sized level organizations who have pretty robust, you know, tools and software and platforms that they're using in their day-to-day work as either a marketer, content creator, product designer, whatever it is. And now, and now we're at a place, you know, we were talking about this for the last 2 years, but now we're at a place where enterprise level tools are becoming widely available that integrate AI across the board, and all of these little you know, all of these kind of more like fragmented AI tools that have popped up are now finding a home in sort of the like the broader landscape. It's like casting a wide net over all these tools and getting them in one place.
Well, Adobe, the Firefly just celebrated its first birthday, 1 year birthday, first birthday last week, right? I think. And it's interesting because Firefly is integrated into it's the generative tool, the generative art tool, generative period. And that's been integrated. I didn't realize it until I was looking at that more, how it's in all those different apps and within the Adobe Creative Cloud. So it's really interesting that they're putting that in. So it'll just kind of be integrated across the board, like you said. But there's also a lot of other things that Firefly, Alan and Ali, I think. Well, Alan, you did video on the structure reference, and I think Ali, you looked into that too. But I've played with it some. What do you think about?
Go ahead, Alan.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
go after you.
yes, I did the video for the structure reference. I'll pin it up in a moment. Yeah, I love it. It's a really cool feature. It's super easy to use. I think what's Adobe plays a very important role in this whole AI space and discussion and how everything evolves. Adobe is going to be the path for creatives that are scared about AI to use AI, and you've already seen that with Genfil. So I think this Gen Studio is a really big move by them. I mean, they're probably going to get some flack. That's just the way. I mean, when they rolled out Genfil, they got a lot of pushback. But again, for Adobe's going to be the key player that's going to get AI in the hands of regular folks, and I think it's pretty exciting.
Yes, I played with it a little bit as well. And one of the important things, not just for Adobe, and I do agree that it was simple to use, I understood. And what I'm seeing across the board with a lot of the different tools is that it's starting to get really complicated, meaning the user interfaces and how to actually get people to get in without feeling immediately overwhelmed is a huge challenge. So, and I think I also mentioned this during the last space, is that the people or the companies that can create, or so if you're listening and you are creating a tool or a system or ecosystem or a product, try to make it as easy as possible if you want people to try to get in on your ship, because it is really, really hard for people to learn the ropes, and especially when we suddenly have this massive explosion of different tools. So that's something that I look at a lot, is how easy it is. And Midjourney actually for me, and coming from somebody who's a complete Midjourney person, or has been for a long, long time, it's getting really complicated. So it's it can be challenging. So props for Adobe for making it easy to navigate that part.
Yeah, that's true. There sometimes it's overwhelming, period, just to see that many choices and that many different features. I know it's helpful sometimes, but I often just stick with the same ones that I use most frequently and just skip the rest. In Midjourney, I'm still not very good on the website. I have to go to Discord mostly. I can't. The organization, it's just too much. I know it's supposed to be easier to organize, but there's when you go to the create screen, it's too, I get lost in my generations there and can't figure out which ones I actually upscaled or which ones I imagined or what's going on. But I don't know, I have to look at your tutorials for that.
I have a question to Alan about this, since he also uses Midjourney. So I'm curious about your workflow. So first of all, do you still use Midjourney on Discord or on the website? And then well, let me have you answer that one first, and then I'll go to the next step too.
Yeah, so it's actually funny. I'm right there with Heather. I don't use the website pretty much at all. I know it's probably blasphemous. I know like everyone loves using the website. I love Discord. I have everything I need in Discord. I don't have to leave it. That's what I like. I can switch between all my different softwares that I use, companies, whatever. So yeah, I don't use the website.
Do you upscale your images?
So it depends. If it's something important, I will not upscale in Midjourney. I'll upscale in Magnific. If it's something that I just kind of want to put out to post, something that again it's not like a work product or something, then yeah, I'll upscale in Midjourney.
Yeah, I'm very curious about this because I don't know when it happened, but I stopped upscaling anything in Midjourney and I just literally download what I get. So maybe this is a shocker to people, but I think the reason why it happened is I started to notice very little difference. And also even regular upscale, or let alone any upscale, but it's not really that great. And David has actually also spoken to that himself. And yes, for V7 it should be better. However, what I do now, so my workflow is, and I do use the website now 99% of the time, so I basically kind of just went there, but I do not use the create at all. I literally work from the archive, and that is probably not what they intended, but that is much better for my workflow. And I still use all the parameters and the meaning dash dash something instead of using the filters. I find that much more cumbersome. And yeah, now I'm giving all dishing. Sorry, Midjourney. I'm using it illegally or wrongly. So I'm literally probably not using it the right way, but I'm using it a way that makes it super fast for me. I still use permutations in there. I use everything as I would use it in Discord, but what I find faster is then when I just flip to the archive, I can quickly see all the generations that I've done, and then I can there do all the other things, from rerunning it, using the prompt, using the style reference, image reference, anything, and I can do it with speed, because speed is super important for me when I run a ton of prompts. So, and a ton of just reruns even. So it's been super helpful in that way. And I don't have any extra steps from moving from the archive to then wherever I want to go. And yeah, the organization is big for me because I can use the smart folders, which makes things faster, or I can just type quickly whatever. Let's say I had a anime character. I just type in anime character to search, and it basically brings up all the images that I've done that has those two words in it. So for those reasons, I use that. But yes, I do not use upscaling at all. I literally just download straight from Midjourney, and then I upscale it somewhere else like Magnific.
But now, is the upscaling on the website is a little bit different than when you upscale it in Discord, correct?
Let me see, because I can actually picture it.
Because that's what
So
I was
if
having
I'm,
issues with, because like just the basic upscale on Discord, when I did that on the website, it was burning through all my fast hours. I went through fast hours twice within like a week. And I think that it was like because it has a subtle, it has the
Mhm,
options, and on the in Discord it's still, it doesn't, it also, it makes the image size file, the file is huge, like 8 megabytes a lot of time with for the subtle.
mhm.
So I noticed
Yeah,
that.
the upscale is 2x or 4x, and the 4x is basically according to the source, not really useful at all. And most people try to do 2x, but yeah, I just directly just download it from there.
But I mean, like upscaling from the grid. When you first get your grid generated, just the basic upscale from there within Discord. It seems
Let
like
me see
like
if it,
on the website it was different, and it seems like it generates it on the website more. It's already upscaled, right?
that's what I feel like it is. So I need to do a test about that and run the same thing on on the Discord, and then, or like even a variation or something, and then run it on a website and see if I notice any differences. The other thing though with Midjourney 2 right now is that the image quality for the most part is so good already that I don't feel like versus some other tools that there is necessarily a need to upscale it to a lot unless you use it for, like Alan said, for some, things that you need to have it upscaled or what have you. So because I'm actually this week, one of the things that I've done is I've been comparing upscalers and enhancers. And what I'm noticing is that I'm actually having a hard time upscaling some of the Midjourney images because they are already so good. So, I mean, speaks volumes about the quality. So basically, when I upscale it, even just 2x, it's almost exactly the same. It's just that it's a bigger size, right?
So which upscaler are you liking right now, besides Magnifique?
Yes, I definitely like Magnific. I have been testing, the latest one that I tested is the free one, which is the Pixelcut, I believe it's called. Yeah, Pixelcut. And I actually hadn't used it before. So bonus, it is free and it is no frills. It's super simple to use, not a sponsored post at all. I mean, it isn't. I'm just like testing everything that I can. It's I actually like the simplicity of it. Going back to what I said, how difficult it is to use a lot of these different tools, even upscalers. So it's super simple to use. They also offer a bunch of other things like remove background and things like that, but it does a good job for the free plan. No watermark, which is another problem that a lot of times you have with free things, because then you just have to deal with the watermark. They do have a pro plan as well, but I mean, for just small upscaling jobs, I think it would suffice very well. It does 2x and 4x upscales. And yeah, so far I'm pretty impressed. Again, it doesn't enhance and do all those amazing things like Magnific does. But I was surprised.
Yeah, you don't always need it enhanced. A lot of times you just need it simply upscaled, make it a little bit sharper, right, and denoise, but not necessarily enhance.
Right, exactly. And that's when I would use this. So if I just need a bigger file size, basically with just a little bit of not hugely noticeable differences, this could be great for a free run of them. It does, again, Pro version has bulk upscales and things like that, but however, I would perhaps still go with Gigapixel. Gigapixel has a new, if you haven't used Gigapixel from Topaz Labs for a while, they have a new version for their Gigapixel 7, it's called. They have added more complexity perhaps into the mix, but now they have presets similar to Magnific where you can now select different, whether it's a high compression, low compression. Then there's a specific setting for AI images, and that seemed to so far generate the best quality for me. But then there's a lot of different levers that you can move in settings to make more minor adjustments. But again, Gigapixel is one that you download to your computer. It's a one-time fee, not a subscription, which may be good. But then if you do need to have updates like after a year, you will need to renew, and that's $79 for the renewal for the next year of these major updates.
Oh, so I need to pay for that. Okay, to get that because I don't think I pay for that. Continuing. Thank you very much. I appreciate the details, especially since you have been studying, you've been experimenting, testing all these tools. So thank you so much. Go ahead, Alan.
Oh yeah, just one last question for Ali. Which one do you prefer, Gigapixel or a I can't even say that word. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, I know. I keep going Magnifique or Magnific. So, and I think Taylor said mag before because we could figure it out.
Magnifique to
But
me sounds better to me in my mind.
yeah, I don't know why I was Magnifique. That's how I kind of started saying it, but then now I'm saying Magnific. So I don't know. We have to ask Javi one of these days what he prefers, or if anybody has heard what he says. Maybe Tom has. I prefer Magnific. I'm not really, I don't know what it is with Gigapixel. Maybe I need to use it more, but Magnific, it's just like, I guess I have the settings down at this point too, kind of like going back to what Heather said. Once we learn something, it's super easy to just stick with it because then when you add more things, then it's easy to kind of stay on that boat, right? So we don't have to now go and start from scratch because that's where I felt like, I also ran out of the upgrades for Gigapixel, so I had to purchase the renewal, and now it's a completely updated thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, now what do I have to do here? So it's like you're kind of juggling different things and trying to figure it out. So it can be hard, but yeah, I mean, Magnific is magnifique.
Okay, so we also, but and then too, Krea is free still, right, for the upscaler because
Yes, and that's another one that I've been testing as well. And there are so many others as well. I mean, that market is pretty, like, I feel like more new tools are coming every day. Crea doesn't have
Leonardo
as
too.
many levers to move yet anyway to make a lot of adjustments. So I felt like the default that I get from Crea is often a bit I don't know what's the right word to call there, but like perhaps harsh. That's not to say that it's the whole thing is harsh, but it's much more pronounced. And I mean, you could get that in Magnific as well if you don't have your levers adjusted properly. So in Krea, you don't have those levers. So it works for some things, but for example, for profiles and photos, photorealistic images, sometimes it's too much. Like I need to tone it down. And that's actually something that I have noticed with a lot of the enhancers and in general upscalers. If you have the ability, so this is just like a general tip, if you have the ability to tune or turn down the knob for whether it's called creativity or just some kind of a general lever. Usually it's set to about 50% in general, most of the tools. You want to tune it down to about perhaps 20%, or in Magnific's case, maybe -2 or what have you. That gives you a better result, just in general.
and we have Leonardo has the upscaler. Scenario actually has a pretty good upscaler too. I'm not. I think you can use it on the free plan, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And different I'm trying to think of anybody else that had. Well, there are of course Clip Drop and most of the tools, most of the established apps. Does Playground have it? A lot of them have it already on there, but there are different options for people to use. So, and then there's plenty of free tools too. So I guess there's something for everybody. It depends on, like, if I'm on Runway, and since I'm in the creator program, I have unlimited credits or whatever. So I often use the Runway upscaler and forget about some of the free ones. But lately I've been going around trying to find some of those too, because I want to put them in my newsletter or talk about them, and because people need to know there's something that they might be using frequently. And sometimes, do you ever have to upscale from a Dolly?
Yes. Much more than from Midjourney. Yeah. Um, the the other thing, of course, that I'm comparing as well is the image generators. And you can kind of tell, and I did the post a few days ago or last week, whenever it was, where I said, okay, here are 5, guess which generator generated these. And I just threw some random ones out there, and you can kind of see what the difference is between the quality. And of course, I did try to do it with a photo type image. I'm going to do more of those because I think they're kind of fun. But Dolly still somewhat lacks in some of that sharpness. I need to test more different styles to see if there's a difference. Some things it does better, but I feel like I want to upscale those versus like with Midjourney, I'm like, this is good. Don't need to do it.
Oh, well, we covered that, but I guess we are. Oh, we had a good discussion so far. But we did want to talk about the video tools, because that's been something that at least Alan and I have been consumed in, and several people that are here in the space right now are. And it's just amazing this week how, I've been working with Morph Studio, and I got access to LTX Studio yesterday, but I haven't had a chance to go and work with it. But I'm pretty psyched. And also the other tools that are already out there that are, everything is ramping up. Pixverse, Haiper, Leonardo is still, killing it a lot of times. I have really good results with Leonardo. But yeah, I like these tools right now, and I encourage people sign up for the wait list and go into the Discord, at least for LTX Studio. I think they're giving priority to people in the Discord. So join the Discord server and the wait list, and hopefully you'll be getting some invitations soon. But I can talk a little bit about Morph Studio a little bit more, but I'm pretty impressed with it. It's like working on a whiteboard, storyboard, basically, and you can generate each shot separately. And within that, you can continue, like go on to the next one while you're waiting for that particular one to generate. You can use image to video, text to video, and video. You can just transfer the style, or transform a video. They have some preset styles in there. They're going to be adding more features later, very quickly too, for where you can add the music to your export. What you do is you generate each shot individually, so you can create each shot, and then you can go through and vary that. You can run variations on those shots, or you can transfer the style, whatever you want to do. Then you can go on to the next one, and when you're finished, you can have, I might have 5 videos for one shot. I pick which one I like the most, and I can connect it with a node to the next shot. So you can just kind of drag boxes around on the screen, I guess kind of similar to Comfy UI. So it moves pretty easily like that, and you just kind of just connect the nodes to it. When you're finished, you can export. It'll put all the clips together and make a full movie. So, or make a full film. So if you're using text to video, I think right now you can generate up to like 10 seconds for the 10, I believe it's 10 seconds for that video. For the image to video, I think right now it's 3 seconds, 3 second clips, and the video to video. They have their own in-house models that work pretty well, and I mean really well. And then they also have stable video diffusion in there also, so you can choose which model you use. So they're going to be adding in lip sync, text to music, or text to sound effects. You can upload when you have your final export ready to go. You can add music to it and download it with the music. It wasn't working for the last few days, but I think they're going to have that running smoothly pretty soon. But so far, it's pretty cool, and you can rename your shots and kind of just keep track of it through that. So, and then you can go back into it later, and you can download the individual clips. If you like more than one, you can put those together. Or when you download the export, you can download the full video or download the individual clips that way too. So it's basically they're going to the all-in-one, model like LTX Studio. And in LTX Studio, I don't know if Alan, have you had a chance to use it?
So I haven't had a chance yet. I've joined the Discord, so I've seen some of the examples, but I haven't actually had a chance to generate it myself yet.
So LTX Studio is a little different. Well, it's a lot different, but it's still the same concept from starting from the beginning, from your idea, but you prompt everything in each scene. You can go through and it will generate, I think, voices, and you can change the weather, location. It has something for character consistency so that you can have the same face, upload a image for like an image transfer or character reference. So it's pretty interesting because once it comes together, you don't have to go out and generate, the voice. I think it has music, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's when by the time you're done, it's more where you're working through a full. I'm not a filmmaker, so I apologize if I say it wrong. But yeah, working through each shot and developing each scene separately to come together. Go ahead, Alan.
In LTX Studio, are the characters pre-loaded? So do you have to select characters, or can you bring in, let's say, a Midjourney image, and then it'll kind of pull that character out, bring it into your video clips?
I believe you can bring in a character or bring in an image that you want to put on there. I saw Riley doing a TikTok about it. So, and I haven't watched a whole lot of videos on it, but I'm pretty sure you can upload image, even a selfie, if you want to put yourself in there, because that's what he did in his example, which was kind of interesting. So I don't know about the preset characters. I have to look back through it, and hopefully by next week I can give you a little bit more detail. But yeah, it's kind of like I can't believe we're at this point. And then also Higgsfield too. That's another one that I signed up for that wait list. It looks very interesting. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about Morph Studio. So, um, do they have video to video, and is it comparable to, let's say, Runway Gen 1?
Yeah, I posted something the other day, and I can't. By the time I pull it out and post it here, it'll take me too long. But I was very impressed because you can use the right now the preset styles. I'm not sure if you can prompt and just kind of do it kind of like Kaiber, where you can prompt and change it. You don't have to use one of the preset styles. But yeah, it was excellent, and it was I did like regular kind of a photorealistic image to a 2D animation, but it was like cyborg robot gladiators, and it was pretty impressive. It kept it perfectly. It just totally transferred that style, but everything else stayed the same. All the movements, I even superimposed them on top of each other, and it was perfect. But yeah, it's clean and it comes out pretty good. Their video, it's already the resolution. I think it's 1080 that you can export it in, but I didn't have to. It didn't look as grainy as sometimes it will look on Runway on Gen 2. Not putting it down or Pika, but it's coming out pretty crisp. And I know Pixverse too. I like that they have the upscaler on there because that saves you time there, and it makes it pretty clear.
So I haven't tried Pixverse yet either. Do you need a subscription?
Right now it's free in the beta. Please, everybody, take advantage of these beta. The free. We see what happens after a while. It's not going to stay free, so take advantage of it now. And with them, I think if you just create a subscription, you can go ahead and use it now. It will have a watermark though, most likely, unless I think if you pay for a plan, it might not. Go ahead, Ali.
Yeah, I was going to say about Pixverse as well. I like their videos, what they're producing. That's one of the ones that I'm looking forward to doing even more, and it's 4K. And it just, I don't know, without me doing really a lot of things, it generates really good videos, and I can just keep rerunning. It takes a while to generate, but again, that's every single video generator. Um, I also believe that it comes with the watermark. Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that I don't have to run as many generations with Pixverse and also with Morph Studio, not compared to Gen 2 and Pika. It seems like it's usually with one or two, similar to like Leonardo is pretty good, especially when I upload an image or use one of the ones I generated on Leonardo. It either gets it or it doesn't, but it seems to get it pretty good more frequently than not. And it's I like these models like that where they kind of figure out it's like they're analyzing the image and they're creating the movement where it should be naturally rather than you prompting specifically for that or using the motion brush. Morph Studio, before I forget, it does have camera control too. So that's cool also. You can, it has several camera controls, kind of similar to Pika, but no in painting. I think they will have that later. That LTX Studio, I believe they have generative fill and you can in paint within LTX Studio, which is also free right now too. So LTX Studio is free, Morph Studio is free. So if you get into there, it might take a minute, but I believe they're going to be rolling out access pretty soon to for both because they kind of came out. They were announced like on the same day, so it seems like they're kind of evolving around the same timeline. And then Haiper is free still, I believe. And we have a lot of people who've been, working with Haiper and showing their results. And Haiper produces some really good quality video too. Very clear. And I think now they also generate up to 4 seconds. So it'll be nice to have this a little bit more freedom in Higgsfield. I'm waiting to see what that is. Have you seen that, Alan?
I did, yeah. I signed up, so we'll see when we get access. Actually, I'm really behind the ball, but I just started playing around with Haiper this week, and I am super impressed. Some of the generations, it's probably going to sound a little dramatic, but almost looks Sora quality. I mean, you still get some some weird body movements sometimes, but really really impressive.
Yeah, I was testing Hyper a couple of months ago, and it was very impressive. And they only had 2 second for the new updated version, not what's in the Discord. And for everybody Morph Studio is in the Discord also, but it's not the same. It's kind of like Pika and Pika 1.0. So it's this new platform is not open completely yet. So it's a little bit different, but you still can go and use these tools inside Discord. But Hyper, you can use it for free right now, like Pixverse on the app for now. But yeah, they're very good quality, and they have in painting also, right? Have you used an in painting on there?
No, I haven't. Again, I only first started experiment this week. Everyone's been telling me about it. I just haven't had the time, but yeah, it's really 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 good.
Well, I guess we're getting close to the six, but Alan, you have been paying him a lot of attention to like Viggle and some of these motion. Like Anna, have you? I messed around with Aniportrait yesterday or 2 days ago, and that's pretty wild. It animates similar to it uses like an emo type of you know. I don't even know algorithm, and it does you uploaded it. I just uploaded a regular image and I use the video that's on the I think it's on replicate right now. You can use it, and it was like a K-pop video singing, and it animated my Midjourney image and had her singing the K-pop song. It was pretty much it kind of like threw the lips off a little bit, but the input video was kind of grainy, so I think it probably couldn't really analyze it that well. But that's interesting. But what are you most excited about out of these tools you've been writing about lately, Alan?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess first I'll say I believe you can do a one-click install on Pinocchio for Aniportrait. Um, if anyone doesn't know, you just go to Cocktail Peanuts Twitter account. You go on Pinocchio, which is the website. You can just do one-click install for most of these local installs. Really, really easy to run all this stuff right in your local hardware. Um, as far as kind of what I've been interested this week, so I've been playing with Viggle a lot. I don't know if anyone in the audience had a chance yet. It is really fun. I put up a post yesterday where I kind of just I made Elon Musk and Spider Man and some other characters just dance around, both inside a snow globe and outside of one. So what you can do if you haven't played around yet, um, you can either there's two options. You can animate a still image, so it'll kind of detect the bounds of the character, and you can put in a text prompt which will say how you want to animate it. So you can do certain dance moves or walking or whatever happens. The other option is you do \mix, and what you do there is you bring in a video of you can use stock footage, preferably use stock footage, and then you also add your PNG image, and it'll take the animation that's in the video and then take your character, and your character will do that animation. So what you're seeing a lot if you go into the Discord is a lot of actors are filming themselves, and then they're using Viggle to completely replace themselves in whatever the video is. So it's going to be a really interesting tool I think you're going to see a lot of AI filmmakers using going forward. Both Viggle and Damo just put out an update this week, which they added kind of the green background so you can key out the background, and they updated their photorealistic model. Oh, yep. Go ahead, Ali.
Okay, so I am obsessed about, I don't know if you guys have seen the animated cats on TikTok that do all these dance moves. So I want to generate them. I don't know why they just make my day. I feel so happy. And now that I'm saying it, all of you will see it on your TikTok if you're on TikTok, because they can hear us. But I've been super excited and stoked to get my hands on the Wiggle. I haven't had a chance to do that yet because I'm hoping that that's what I can do there and make it more so than what I see right now. But I mean, obviously, completely for just fun, not anything educational. But I don't know. They just make me so happy. So be prepared for a lot of dancing cats generated in Midjourney.
Well, now we'll be seeing that. But Alan, do you have to have well, would it work on a cat yet? And do you have to have the entire body, like the person's body that you want to animate?
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. If you upload a cat, it's gonna take the cat and overlay them on top of a person's body, which still might be really funny, but also kind of creepy. So you don't need a full body, but it has to be a person.
So can you just from like a face or like the top half of the person?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can just do your face. You can just do the shoulder up shot. You can do side shots. I believe you can do rear shots. Pretty much anything, but it has to be a person.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
What
Wow.
if the cat is like a human, like, right? Because Midjourney does fantastic cats that wear like sweater and pants and stuff like that. I'm really curious. Asking for a friend.
I mean, there's only one way to find out. You gotta prompt it. I still think it's going to turn into a person. It's going to creep you out, but you got to give it a go.
I'll be prepared.
And they have presets in there, right, for like the different dance moves that they do.
They do, yeah. So if you go to the Viggle website, which, all right, so when you're in the Discord, when you submit a prompt, you'll get a link that says, if you want to see all the animation possibilities, click on the link. So it brings you to the website, and it's probably about 8 pages of just all different animation that they already preloaded for you to use.
So we have all these things, and then Suno has their version 3. I finally tried Suno for the first time, and I think Keenan, the co-founder, he jumped in and told me in a comment that I said, I'm just not interested. I don't really get into making songs, and he said most people aren't, and it's kind of fun. So I went on ahead and made one. So it is pretty fun. I enjoyed it. And I see why people are on there making these songs. And I see the new version 3, you can make a longer song, up to 3 minutes, right? I don't know if anybody here has been using it. Taylor, I don't know. Have you used it much?
Suno?
Yeah.
I haven't, and I've actually been, it's like been on my list for ages now, and I've been hearing so much good buzz about it, but no, I have not.
I went on there and I saw a song about mitochondria and I clicked on it and I'm like, oh man, I was hooked just from that because it was so cute how, it just, I liked it. This it hooked me with mitochondria. But yeah, Alan, do you use it?
So I have used it. It's awesome. It's funny. I seen a tweet. I forget who posted it a couple days ago, saying, how is Suno version 3 not just like breaking the internet right now, and everyone not talking about it? Because it is. It's almost a big a jump when they came out with GPT-4. It's amazing quality. But the problem is no one really stops to listen to music on a timeline. I think if Suno pairs with a video company like Runway and you can generate the video and put the Suno song right in it, I think it's going to be a huge hit.
And then stable audio. I posted something about it today, and a lot of people, some in this room, said it's not as good as Suno. And I thought Suno it has the lyrics with it. I don't know if you can just generate the instrumental, but that is this. I thought stable audio sounded really. It was a huge jump for me to hear. I have like a whole epic cinematic piece up to 3 minutes long. I think you get 20 credits to start with. I don't know if that renews every month, but that was pretty cool. And I did two different ones. I got some prompts from LimeWire, their blog, and I just put them in word for word and got a reggaeton song that sounds really good and an epic cinematic piece that sounded really good. So that was a huge leap, I think. Alan, go ahead.
Do you get a certain amount of credits to use it, or is it just free to use right now?
When I went on, I guess I have a stable audio account and I've used it before, and there's 20 credits in there. And I assume that it starts out, I don't know if it's charging you for API calls, but it starts out with 20 credits and then it uses 2 credits per song. That's what up to 3 minutes. So for a 3 minute song, it was 2 credits. I just generated 3 minutes because I didn't know if it would use 2 credits, whether or not I generated 1 minute or 3 minutes. But yeah, it looks like I think it might be kind of like stable video where everybody was starting out with at first 150 credits. I think they dropped that down now to 40 credits, and that might have something to do with Imad leaving. But yeah, so that I think everybody they want people to try it out. So it seems like everybody's starting out with the 20, but you have to create an account if you haven't used stable audio before, and it's separate from some of the other stability apps. But yeah, I was impressed with the quality. It sounded like real instruments, and I don't know, Omni's not here, or Ezra talk about, I don't know how they train that, and I was kind of wondering like how does it sound like regular instruments rather than AI generated. But it's free right now for the 20 credits, so I would encourage people to check it out. Go ahead, Alan.
I was going to say thank you. I'm going to play around with it tonight. Maybe I'll make a music video tonight.
Yeah, listen to the tracks that I put up there. It's seriously like I would definitely use it for like a trailer or something. The cinematic one. It was like a Hans Zimmer in the style of Hans Zimmer, and I put for the reggaeton the LimeWire. The prompt suggested to put inspired by Despacito. I'm saying it wrong. By Louis Fonsi, and it sounds like a pretty good reggaeton. But I don't know how specific you have to be with your prompt in order to get it like that. So if you know about music and you know what you're doing, I'm sure it would probably be fun to play with. And they also have where you can upload your audio and edit it on stable audio. I don't know if can you upload. I don't know if anybody knows if you can upload to Suno. If you're in the audience, raise your hand. If you use it, please set me right, because I know it seemed like that was a big deal to be able to upload for musicians or people who wanted to have whatever some changes within you prompt what you want to hear and it will update it that uploaded audio. No, I don't see anybody. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I don't know if you can. I've never seen the feature on there.
But other than that, like Noisee is out there. I know I use my Suno track. That's another thing, people were making a lot of the videos with Noisee. I tried that out too with my Suno URL. You have to drop a URL in there, I think. And that was interesting. Very, and I also put an image in, and it was very interesting. It was pretty clear quality too, and that's free, but it's only in Discord right now. So right now, there's a lot of stuff happening. Go ahead in that space.
So with Noisy, does it generate videos too, or is it just audio?
No, it generates videos. And what I did was it takes a URL, I believe, and I used my Suno URL to put in there, and it generated I uploaded an image. So this song was like a West Coast 90s West Coast hip hop, and I put this image in there of a woman standing by a car. It's one image I've posted before, and it created like an entire video with different scenes based with the in the style of the image that I uploaded, and it had the music playing. It didn't have the audio, it didn't have the lyrics playing, but it had the music playing. Actually, it's in my newsletter. If my Substack newsletter, I should plug that. I put an example in there if anybody wants to see, but it's quite interesting how it does that, and so it creates looks like a pretty 1080 4K video based on, and the movements were pretty good too. It didn't have people disintegrating and melting and morphing into too much. It looked pretty good. So I was impressed with Noisy, and I'll give them a shout out because yeah, it seems like it has a lot of room to grow, and that's a pretty innovative way to use the music to make the video. I think that's what the point of it is. So there's just a lot of options out there for creativity and a lot of different storytelling. And Higgsfield, we didn't talk about it much, but that looks like, to me, it looks like Sora, because it seems like the video length will be longer. And I think they are championing democratizing social media creation for everyone, says on their website. They also have a iOS app, I believe. I don't know if it's available in the Play Store also, but you can take a selfie and it will create all these scenes, kind of like it looks like Viggle. So that's all available on iOS. I'll have to drop that into the chat there, but it seems quite interesting. And I just noticed them yesterday. I don't know if they were around, if we were talking about that earlier this week, but there's just it's amazing. I guess the longer Sora takes to come out, and when it does, it seems like it might be. I don't know if it'll be priced in our a regular person's price point, but at least we have a lot of different options. You know, you don't have to just wait for that. Know that regular people, we can make stuff right now with what we have, and just take advantage of it. Use ChatGPT to come up with a script or a storyline, and use ElevenLabs if you want to do that. You can still generate quite a bit for free on there, right? Taylor, have you said you use ElevenLabs a lot, right?
I love ElevenLabs. Yeah, I use it every week, like rain or shine, regardless of if I have a project to do anything with it, just because I have a lot of fun in there. So it's almost like a hobby at this point. But so many use cases. I'm starting to integrate them into ads as voiceovers as well, to help kind of with call to actions in areas where like budgets are tight and it's hard to incorporate like a voiceover budget. So that makes it definitely easier. But yeah, obsessed with ElevenLabs.
Taylor, how do you get your generate like the script for these voiceovers?
Oh, like how do I, like from the whole process, or just in ElevenLabs?
Like, no, I mean, I apologize for like how do you know, do you use a prompt in like ChatGPT or
Yeah,
yeah, like how do you do that? Like what do you prompt, or do you have a go-to for that?
totally. It always like definitely a very strategic question, because it always kind of starts from like the high level, and then zooming in as you get to some of those more like dynamic campaign elements of like, what is a voiceover, what is the actual call to action sound like. So typically, like if with any sort of ad campaign, even like a creator or like a user generated content sort of campaign. It's really about like what is the core objective of this creative, and then backing into it with like the messaging and the positioning that makes sense in order to achieve that objective. So I definitely have like a few canned prompts that I use on a regular basis these days, like Perplexity almost every day, and then still GPT-4 for like all of my, again, like scripting needs and things like that. But Perplexity is really great just for helping to like substantiate or like justify, reasoning and like provide additional data points if needed to sort of like support a creative approach. So I find it really, really helpful for that. But then, yeah, like depending on whatever the objective of the campaign is, what the vibe of the creative is, kind of like what we're looking to achieve, as well as what format it's being placed on, right? Whether that's across traditional ads, whether it's more like TikTok, short form vertical, whether it's like a carousel type of post, like those things matter. But if there's anything scripted involved, it's definitely using GPT to help tweak it, but like very much human creative strategy to sort of guide that process. But I will say, I wish I had a one size fits all solution where it was just constantly plug and play. But I do enjoy like sort of the creative subjectivity around it and being sort of this like orchestrator of the tools in order to make it all come to life together.
So if somebody say you wanted to make something for LinkedIn and TikTok, could you say in your prompt, if you prompt in the style of a TikTok video or in the style of LinkedIn post, do you think that
Yeah.
these?
You know what? I noticed too, and I'm sure that you probably run into this before too, Heather, with like AI is just kind of shit when it comes to like out of the box content for a specific platform. So if you're ever like, write a Twitter thread for me about this thing, you're going to get the most lame sort of like emoji stuffed with hashtags. Like it's just not up to like standard. It's not up to best practice. And so I think that is where the human element comes in, of like really being able to discern what resonates with people now. What types of like, content do people care about? And then sort of wrapping your prompt in that structure rather than just saying like, write me a LinkedIn post about this. So trying to lay down as much context as possible. I swear some of my conversations with ChatGPT, it's like paragraphs of back and forth of me just like refining and tweaking and giving additional context about a specific creative and really expanding it. And it's very rarely ever just a simple like, hey, write me a LinkedIn post. I mean, there are simple things that you can definitely use ChatGPT for, like cleaning stuff up or summarizing. But when it comes to, I think, some stuff that's really like creatively subjective, it's really important to kind of have that layer in and understand how the pieces fit together, so that you ask for the best output. You get the best prompt.
I've noticed I haven't used it to like compose a whole thread or like an article or something like that, but Grok, that Groq, that I like it because when I have it rewrite something for clarity and conciseness, it is so good at it, and it doesn't put all the extra unleash and diving into the stuff that you normally have even from Claude 3. So I use that sometimes for my newsletter. Say I want like a one sentence description of something, or if I want like a 2 or 3 sentences, just make it cleaner and
And you
easy.
mean Grok from like X, right?
No,
From
no, Groq.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
good distinction, because I know that there's two.
no, I apologize. And I think I talked about it a few weeks ago, but it's Groq, and it's the one that's super fast, it's scary fast how fast you get your answer, and it uses Mistral, I think, and Ali, what's the other one? Do you know? Oh, is it Llama?
I don't remember what it is, but I also love Croc with a Q.
It's good, right? It's clean and it doesn't give you all the extra bullshit. It's just kind of like gives you the answer. And it you can take it or leave it, it'll redo it. And I think you can kind of modify it some. So it's free too right now. So that's cool. But yeah, Groq. I'll have to drop the link in there. Hopefully we won't get deboosted out of here. But yeah, it's cool to have some options. Also, one more tip, and I apologize for keeping everybody so late. is I was writing about character AI. I never really used it, but I saw that it was one of the top 100 Gen AI tools. It was very high up. Oh, but
No, I meant to do the thumbs up
oh,
as
okay. Thought
in
I was like, oh, but I was using that and just testing it out to see like what is the point of having all these characters when to have a chat with. And I used the Grammarly character, and I had Grammarly rewriting a whole bunch of stuff for me into different tones, and it was pretty clean. And it just kind of like go through it. It was faster than, and it seemed it was a little bit better to me than using ChatGPT or something like that. But I thought.
I just want to say I'm a huge proponent also of character AI. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, in like 2023, it was like one of the top apps or something like that on the App Store, even beating out like OpenAI's ChatGPT. And so that was kind of funny. But I think it's a really great, like, don't sleep on character AI, you guys. If you ever want to basically have an AI conversation with a created persona, whether it's from like fiction or movies or community created ones, because there's a lot of those on there as well. So it's really great.
And it has like some branded characters, like I said, Grammarly, and I just kind of went through pretty quickly, and I thought that was pretty smart. It's kind of like having it on Poe or something like that, right? Where you can just kind of jump on there, or the GPT if you're in Chat GPT for that particular brand. But what are the reasons? Like, why would you? I'm not saying why, but yeah, like if you're going to have a conversation with a person in a, you said in like a character from a film or something like that. Like, what is the use
Yeah.
case for that?
I
Or is
know
it
that a
just for
lot of
fun?
people, I mean, I know a lot of people have done it just as like, and I think this is in part why it's grown so popular, is that like you can just have conversations with random characters. So there's that, and like people just really enjoy, I think, that like pseudo social element of it. Um, but that's, yeah, I mean, for marketers, for creators, for anyone that's actually creating content, it's super helpful to be able to like dive deeper into those personas with
Uh,
basically what is a GPT that's been super hyper trained on, a very specific like character.
oh, that. Thank you. I didn't think about that, and you're right. I think it was one of the top five web apps, at least from 16Z's report. And I was trying. They had a lot of those social apps that were like that, where people, like the characters, you can just pick them out. And Deep AI has something like that too, where you can talk to like the sports character, like Kobe Bryant or whatever, have a conversation with them. They had quite a few for a lot of categories too. But it's something that, yeah, people seem to enjoy, and I wanted to see, well, why are these so popular? But I guess out in the real world, that's what people are using, and it's good to know that they have options, and it's something that makes sense too for people to use for the persona. Go ahead, Ali.
I think character AI is actually, well, this is just speculation, but I think that this is actually perhaps a gateway in a good way for a lot of people to learn more about AI. And I'm talking more about the younger people and just in general the awareness. Because right now, if you ask people, at least what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is what AI is, they will say ChatGPT because that's the only thing they know. That's the pretty much across the board. But character AI is doing phenomenal job in perhaps infiltrating the realms and getting people to be aware of it more so that it isn't as a scary monster out there for the vast majority of people who are not in our bubble.
That's a good point. Yeah, people are using it. My mom's generating images of herself on Facebook, putting herself on other bodies and stuff like that. So I don't think she realizes that's AI, and it's kind of crazy sometimes. But there's a lot of that. It's play this game, and I don't know what game it is because I don't really do Facebook like that. But there's a lot out there. I was laughing the other day. My son showed me. He was so proud because he generated his new Google homepage, and he was like, look, he was showing me how he chose that, and I forgot about that, how you can customize your Google homepage. So that's, there's a different ways that they're bringing people in, and they're generating art and copy, and just talking to people and getting another opinion about something, or just kind of having a conversation. Well, I guess this is fun, and I appreciate it. I won't keep. I thought we would go an hour, but of course, we had such a great conversation today. Thank you all so much. We learned so much, Allie. Now we're straight for a while with the upscalers and a lot of different things, organization, in, in understanding how Midjourney works, and Dolly and image editing, because a lot of people are using Dolly, and I hope that that is helpful. And we'll have to talk about, I think, Microsoft Copilot, also how they have the Dolly 3 in there. There's different styles you can choose. I noticed that in the past month or so. And you can also edit to change the aspect ratio of the landscape. And it has like a thing where you can pick different parts of it and change that. So that it's, I think there's just a lot of cool stuff out there in these tools. We just got to keep up with them. But everybody, I'll just go around and anything you want to plug, Alan.
No, nothing really to plug, but look out for Familiars Part 2. I'm working on it. I'll probably drop it in 2 weeks or something. So keep an eye out.
That's right. Yeah, he has for episode 1. That's a really cool animation too. So it's on his YouTube channel, and he posted on here. So you go link and make sure you go follow, subscribe to his YouTube channel. Allie, what you got going on?
I am working on a stealth thing. This is my first leak about it. To be announced later. I am going to be trying to push it out as fast as I can work on it with getting some sleep, hopefully in May. The other thing is I was in a Curious Refuge podcast that just came out yesterday on YouTube that I just happened to found from somebody else that is out. So if you want to hear me blabber some more, I mean, it was super fun. They are wonderful people. So if you're not following Curious Refuge, they are great. And they are more in the AI video generation space.
Yeah, Curious Refuge is awesome. I enrolled. I didn't finish the whole course, but I have access to it, so eventually I will. But for AI filmmaking, the tips and stuff that Caleb they provide, a lot of like workflow information, and now they have the ad. It's AI and ad and film. Um, and that is just amazing. I think Dave Clark is teaching that also. But it's, yeah, they have a lot of cool resources and also just showing you different places to go look for resources for whatever you're doing with AI film or video. Really, really good, great resource. But congratulations, Allie. Now I'll have to listen to that. I'm just so thrilled. That's so cool. Taylor, what about you?
I don't really have anything to plug. This was an amazing chat as always. If you are interested in hearing from me, I have a newsletter called The Sauce, and I talk about AI and social and the internet and all the weird trends that shape our culture. So you can find me there. Thanks again, Heather. This was such a good space.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad. I hope that the audience is able to take something away today, and I'll try to put some of those links into the chat below for everybody that's listening. Make sure you go in and drop your whatever you've been working on. If you have some tools you want to put in there, drop that. If you want to throw an image, video, I'd love to see. It's just amazing to see how much these everybody's just like ramping up their creation lately, with all these different things that we have available to us. So please share it with us, share it with everybody, and let's repost that, and get it out there and show some love. And right now, I'm still working on a lot of different things, but at least now I feel. For a while, I feel like I was just generating images, generating clips of little videos of random things. Now I'm starting to put them more together to tell stories, and that was the whole point to begin with. So I'm so thrilled to have tools that we can do that with. And if not on one of those platforms, I'm using CapCut every single day, I swear. There's just so many features on CapCut, and half the time I don't even pay attention to a lot of the things that are available, and that's for the free and pro, because I use a lot of the stuff for free. Alan, are you on the free plan or you have the pro? Just so
I have the Pro.
Okay, yeah, well, you do quite a bit, but yeah, the pro, it's not that expensive either. It's pretty reasonable. I think it was less than $100 for a year, if I'm not mistaken. But they have so much stuff. I mean, but using that stuff there in the different voice tools and finding free things, I'm just having a ball, and I want to share that. And I've been posting. Follow me on TikTok, please. TikTok, YouTube, subscribe, and Instagram. I'm on those channels also, so please come out and support. I know there's a lot of us on there, and then we gotta like find each other. Like Taylor, I don't think I'm connected to you. I'm not following you on TikTok. I better get on that. But yeah, Alan, I gotta check on you too. But Allie, I'm covering you. But yeah, please, I'll just be right now. I'm focused on. I'm gonna try to make more and more little short stories using LTX Studio and Morph Studio, and just all for the other video tools. I want to use those and the along with the lip sync and the text generation, sound effects. I love the sound effects, and just using a lot of different tools for that, and just putting some things together. And I get inspired by everybody that's in the room. And thank you all for like the prompt shares. Just want to give everybody a shout out. Muriel, I see you down there. Amira, Tom, all you guys, you just Alan, of course, people that are putting out a lot of great information. And when you put out those prompt shares, we all take something from it. And even if we add a little bit on, and that kind of just keeps it going. So thank you for sharing what you learned. And even just if you post an image, you don't have to have the prompt. People now, we don't have to show the prompt all the time because they're figuring out how to make it, how to generate it themselves, and how to reiterate it and update it to suit their needs. So thank you all. Stay, Sarah, thank you for sharing everything that you are and boosting and being an inspiration to everybody here. I appreciate you all coming, and we will see you next week. Have a good weekend, please.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, Heather.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.
Bye bye.